Welcome back, everybody, to BG Addict. This is Tony, and we're resuming our playthrough of Pole of Radiance. Um, we just finished up the Kudos Well, and now we're going to proceed over to Mendor's Library. Farron Martinez told us about some tomes and stuff over here in Mendor's Library that contains histories of what's happened in Flan's recent history. Go through and let's check our spells and everything. Okay, so we got magic missile. Now, there are some deadly enemies in Mendor's library. Um, there's not a large number of enemies, but there are some deadly ones, and we'll get on over there to do that now. I think we're pretty much set to go. I think we did a decent job of preparing for it last episode, at the end of the last episode. Let's make our way through the slums. I'm not sure why you have to bash these doors down every time you go through. Alright, so we go over here. Mendor's library is to the south. Let me clear out the map. One thing about Mendor's library, the main part of it, you can't get in there without a knock spell. I don't believe, at least, not unless you have hacked ability scores for sure. But I think you do have to have a knock spell, which we do have. So we're going to go ahead and map out the outer perimeter of Mendor's library. One thing, so I don't forget to mention, make sure when you actually go into the interior of Mendor's library, that you have the search key on, the search function on. We might as well do it here because there's no random encounters in this area. And you could enter Mendor's library from the south at that door, or you can enter it from the north. And we are going to enter it from the north. Okay, so we've got the entire outside. Okay, so we're going to knock. This is the main entry. Okay, and then we'll go turn left. These are the library stacks. Old and moldering books are stored on shelves. A sign over the entrance reads history. So this room contains some of the books that the council are wanting. So you could either move around in search mode, like I'm doing now, or you can just stay in one section and just hold down the L key and keep doing that until you find. In this section, there are 3 books that you need. And there's one of them. You find History of the North. It's mostly written to please a royal line. However, there is an interesting passage which you copy into your journal as entry 8. So we go to entry 8. It says, a rugged popular account of the northern lands. 10 days ride north of the Varm is a barren and dead country called the Luai. land in pain or land of cause of pain. Further to the south, this place is known as the tortured land. It is said to be an evil place shunned by the riders. They speak little of this land, but yearly during chess they make a trip into its heart. There they go to praise the spirit of a glowing spring. This they have done for ages, and so they shall do for years to come. Okay, so we're definitely going to take that. Yes, and we're going to try to find two more books here. Okay, you find Lex Geographica. It's an atlas drawn by Tamaris. It has a map of Flan, which, through old, still could be useful. Though old, still could be useful. It becomes entry 37 in your journal. So we'll go to journal entry 37, and it just shows a picture, and you guys can't see it. But it just basically is a map of the Moon Sea, the area surrounding Flan and Flan. Most of the Moon Sea shows some of the areas to the south, like Hills Far, Elven Tree, Elmwood, Mulmaster, Iron Fang, Keep, Elven Court. Um, Pretty much shows everything to the south of the Moon Sea, and of course all the stuff up north of the Moon Sea is too. Also, which includes Dragonspine Mountain and Flan, and the Studgeonare River, and the Great Grey Land of Thar. Which, if you know, if you're familiar with Forgotten Realms in the Moon Sea area, those names may sound familiar. It also shows the area around Flan, and that's pretty much the same as it's in the map, um, the Overland map and the Gold Box Companion. The other map's just a complete map of Flan, which shows where Valhingan Graveyard is located across the river from the main part of Flan. But that's about it. So we will continue. We will take that, and we're going to find one more book. Pretty sure there's one more. Thought there was a book here on the arts of war, something about the arts of war. Okay, here it is. You find the Grand Historian's records of the arts of war. In it, you find a useful passage in which you copy into your journal as entry 21. So we'll go to 21. A crumbling old book, one of a massive series. At this time, their ruling the Twisted Ones was a powerful general named Tyrant Thraxus. He rode before his armies, cloaked in flame, and led the riders out of the waste. At his hand, the kingdom of Bars was conquered. Turning south, he led his armor to conquer the Horrib and the Vain. Tyranthraxus was a cruel man and leveled all that he had taken, murdering the princes of these lands. The flame that surrounded him consumed him, destroying his body and freed its shell. It flew among men of his army, lighting on each and claiming it. It was then when Baron shot imprisoned tyrant Thraxus in a vial of water which shone like the light of day. This he sank in the watery depths of Lake Longreach, defeating the armies of tyrant Thraxus had raised. Okay. So, yes, we're going to take that. And we're done with that section. So we'll go over here. And these are just little, it says you were in a small room having a little more than a bench and a small desk. Okay, so we'll continue to this one. Same, all three of those little rooms all through this section are the same. So we'll go down to this next section. These are the library stacks. Old and moldering books are stored on shelves. A sign over the entrance reads philosophy. Tells us all there we go. There's one, you find Fire Detha's discourses on power. Among all the dry text, you find an interesting passage which you copy into your journal as entry 7. So let's check out entry 7. Journal entry 7, a tightly bound scroll, seemingly immune to the ravages of time. Fountains and pools hold great power that can only be reached by performing proper ceremonies. Most of these is immersion, for in this way the bather surrounds himself into the spirit of the water. That spirit or some portion of it enters into the bather, whereby grants great powers. Woe to the weak-willed, whose spirits are sure to be consumed by spirits that put even the strong at risk. Urax holds that the falls of Exi are the greatest of all these. Morden writes that the pool of radiance is greater still later in the book. Places of the magical power are not necessarily tied to one physical location. Power often moves from plane to place along the path of the least resistance. The termination of the path determines the place's the place's location on this plane. Volatile upheavals between the plane may lead to a change in the path of least resistance. This can change where the path terminates on this plane, thus moving the place of power. Some who wield strong supernatural forces can bend the path like an engineer damming a river. When the path is bent, it can terminate in a new location, moving the place of power on this plant. If the supernatural force that bent the path is removed, the path will snap back to its original form and the place of power return to its original location. Such disruption can have violent and unpredictable results. Thus, interplanar upheavals and directed supernatural force may hold the answer to the seemingly ever-changing location of places of power, such as the Bull of Radiance. So, yes, don't take that. You find Ergun's description of darkness. This is an account of his imprisonment in the lower realms. This is a passage of interest which you'll copy as entry 19 in your journal. So, entry 19. Journal entry 19, a black bound tome written in a strange, halting hand. And settled foremost in the half of minor courtiers were the lesser powers: Moram of the Great Spear, Hask, voice of Hergut, Taranthraxus the Flamed One, Borum of the Lake of Boiling Mud, and Camnod the Unseen. These two fell down and became servants of the great Lord Bane. Yes. And if you keep searching this room, it will. You may find a few other tomes that are not of any use. So once you find those two, you can stop. Okay, so we're going to go over to this side. And this is just a duplicate of the eastern part of the building, or the just more studies. Okay, Okay, and there's another room full of books. These are library stacks. Old and moldering books are stored on the shelves. A sign over the entrance read rhetoric. And this is one of the nasty creatures I was telling you about. It hisses at you. It's a reptilian. It said it was a reptilian creature, which we know is basilisk. All right, so let's see what we can do here. Good. One of the advantages of having 18 dexterity. Alright, done quit. Done quit. Done quit. Done quit. Done quit. No. Okay. When you're looting items, make sure that you don't loot with dirt. And if he picks up something, you can't get it back. So make sure you're on one of your player characters. Let's take. Let's see. We're gonna let Sylvia take the clerical scroll, which may come in handy. We hope not, but take both those. Cloak. Oh, Marlin. Few items. Okay, so we see right there with a Marlin at the top in our gold box companion bar at the top. It says he's displaced, so we know that's a cloak of displacement, which is good because it will lower our armor class. Well, what happened to our? Not sure what happened to our gold box companion here. Try to bring it back up. First of all, we better just save it. Yep, save A. Nope. Alright, bring up Gold Box Companion. Search. There we go. And we're back. I'm not sure what happened. Okay, so we're all set. We're back. Got our Gold Box Companion bar back up. That can happen sometimes. Okay, so let's see here. More of the little studies. It says the same thing the other ones did, so I'm not going to bother reading it. Okay, go to this. There's just another section of books here. It says the same thing as before. It says the sign over the entrance reads mathematics. Now there's nothing in this room here of any use to us. Okay, so we'll go down this little room here. You see a chamber filled with rotting furniture and benches. There's nothing in these rooms. Same across the hall. Okay. So let's go. Bash. Let's go over to the west. As you move through the garden, you see a strange green plant growth, which you recognize as green slime. You carefully move around it. And we're going to move right through it just for sake of mapping out this area. If it hits you, it doesn't do too much damage. Okay, so we're through that. I'm going to go into this little alcove here. You enter a hall which is filled with rows of writing tables and high stools. Rotting mounds of parchment litter the floor. Okay, there's three little alcoves here, and they all contain, if you're in search mode, you'll find gold foil. I have never, since 1988, been able to figure out what that's for, and I've come to the conclusion that that was intended for something, and they just never quite followed through with that. But I'm not sure why. I mean, there's not any use. It doesn't sell for anything. It's you won't get any gold for it. So I'm not sure what it is. You have entered a storeroom full of kobolds. We're going to advance. They raise their arm and surrender. They plead for mercy. Parley. One of the kobolds says, if you spare our lives, we will tell you all we know about this area. Will you spare them? We're a good party, so we're going to do that. They describe the surrounding area to you. Listen carefully and question them. And from this, you sketch a map into your journal, calling it Journal Entry 10. I don't think we're going to be able to see that. No. So what I'll do is I will pull it up on my other screen here and describe it to you. Journal Entry 10. It's just a map of this southern part of Mendor's library. It's got X equals bad things, and in the top center part of that, actually no, it's actually of Cadorna's Textile House, the southern part of Cadorna's Textile House. I'm sorry, and it's got three X's in areas that says they're bad things, and I'm assuming there's probably monsters in those areas. It's the northern part of the southern half, the western part of the southern half, and the southeastern part of the southern half. They all have X's in those areas, so I'm assuming that's safe to assume there would be encounters in those areas. Not very useful, to be honest. Alright, so we're going to go. One thing I want to point out about Mendor's library, and you'll see why if we get hit here at the end when we leave. I don't advise going in there with a character, especially one of your frontline fighters, that are right at leveling. And one of the game mechanics, I'll just get into that later, just see if it happens, and you'll see why I say that. We'll just Okay. You find a fighter with battered armor and wild eyes carrying in the corner. Hi, mercy, mercy, he cries, and then suddenly, die, die, you slime from the pit. And so we're going to parlay. We're going to speak haughty. The man screams while frothing at the mouth. He is not human, I tell you, not at all. We're going to parley again. We're going to go sly this time. The man screams while frothing at the mouth. He is not human, I tell you, not at all. Going to parlay nice. The man screams while frothing at the mouth. He is not human, I tell you, not at all. You see the man is quite mad. Do you take pity and invite him to go with you? No, he will start trouble when you get back to town. So we'll go meek. The man screams while frothing at the mouth. He is wrapped in fire and so cruel. And we're gonna parley and abusive. Okay, so yeah, if you talk to him abusive, he'll attack. It doesn't hurt anything to kill him. Alright, so we're going to go in this room down here. Buried amid all the trash, you see a book. Do you take it? Yes. And I think we're going to take it with Marlin. And that's one of the best items in the game, I think. Okay, so we're going to go in this room. Bash. Found a jar under the floorboards. Do you take it? Yes. 171 experience. Take. Take, take, take. Exit. Continue to move around the room. Okay. And we'll go for this room here. One of the other alcoves, and there's that gold full again. Never figured out what that was for, and I think it was meant to be something, and then they never followed through. So, all right, so here we go. We can rest in the library. As far as I know, you can rest anywhere, but in this garden where all that slime was. Of course, you wouldn't be able to do that. Rest there. Alright, so we're gonna memorize stinking. No, I don't. I think that should have been knock with aniline. Yes. And then stinking cloud with Sylvia. Let's see how Durton's looking on. He's good. Alright. So we're good there. We're gonna exit. And we'll save for the heck of it. And head on out. A specter suddenly appears before you. Thief, I defended these books in life and I will defend them in death. So we've got to fight this specter. He does drain levels. So you want to avoid being hit by him if at all possible. Take him down as quickly as you can. Okay. Cast magic missile. Cast magic missile. Okay, he hit Durton, which if we had to choose, that's the one we wanted him to hit instead of our player characters. Almost took him down. Should be able to drop him right here. There we go. And that was my whole point behind moving Durton up there. If he was going to drain anybody, I wanted it to be him. Okay, so he's got one level drained. Okay, so when you have a level drain, you can actually restore that, or you can just let him go from the level that he was drained to. You usually have a lot of show you restoration scrolls. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and just use one of them on him. Okay, so he's restored. Now he did. If you notice the top here at this experience bar, any experience he's gained, he's lost. But with that being NPC, that's not the end of the world. He'll be all right. Yep. So he's back to 6,000 experience. So he lost any experience he had. We just picked him up, so it's not a major loss there. All right. So let's rest because it doesn't get his hit points back. It doesn't. It's not risky at all in Mendor's library. All right. So let's go back and turn our. Sylvia's got a level. She can go up in, and we can turn in these books. We'll turn search off. There's no reason to have that on. Just wanted to make sure that it was recording. It was. Alright. Alright, so let's go to this council. Got proclamation CXXIV. Let's see if that's one that we haven't looked at yet. CXX. Okay, yeah, this is a new one. Be it known, the council has declared those individuals who have taken up residence in the mansion of the former Koval family to be traitors and thieves. Be it further known that a award has been offered for the elimination of these outlaws. A commission to rid the city of this blight may be obtained from the council clerk. Alright. It's not necessary to read those proclamations because you can get all the information you need from the city clerk. Okay. There's a reward for clearing the library. Here's your reward. Not much of a reward. We find these discourses valuable. Here's your reward. And these are just gems, I think. Don't bother looking. The council will be amused by these descriptions. Here's your reward. These maps should help us locate several legendary buildings. Here's your reward. We'll see what it is. Just platinum. These histories contain much useful information. Here's your reward. These records provide insights into much that was puzzling. Here's your reward. Okay, so on the matter of commission, she says I can offer the following. The weapon of great power. Okay, a large group of thieves operates out of the Oak Koval mansion. The council will pay to have them cleaned out. Find the nomads and stop them from joining with our enemies. These are all the commissions available. Okay, so let's see what our goals is. Let's go on down here to the shop. Pool. Let's buy a dart. Actually, she needs more than that. Let's buy several darts. Bye. Okay, so join. Alright. So Sylvia can. Let's see what she's looking like. Spirit 6354. That is enough for a cleric level. So take 200 platinum. And we'll just share the rest. Go to the cleric trainer. Level 4 cleric. She now has 26 hit points. Let's get rid of some of that stuff we don't need. Let's pull first. Alright, so I ID all the potions. Let's get rid of those sheets of gold. We really didn't need to pick up in the first place. Alright. Nope, nothing there. Oh, ID. Yes. Manual bodily health. Now that works a little bit differently than in other editions of D&D. I'll show you that. Okay, so we're good. We want to make sure we share. Okay, so let's go to an end to use our manual of bodily health. Let's see, and I am going to let Marlon use it because he lost that point of Constitution by dying to the scorpions in the keep. So yes. Okay, so we're going to view items, ready, and use that. Okay, we should have ID'd the cloak too, but okay. Now the difference in first edition for manual bodily health and any kind of tome, which that's the only one in Pool of Radiance, is you have to rest. I think it's 60 days. In an inn only, so you can't just go to Mendor's library and just rest for 60 days and expect to get that point of Constitution. And you can tell when it takes effect when his hit points go up by 1 point. So let's just rest until we go up 1 point. See how many days it is. I had it set at 60 days. I played this game for years before I figured out how to actually use that tome and it do something. It may just be 30 days. Yeah, it was 30 days. So let's, yeah, it was 30 days. Yeah, because Constitution's back up to 16 now. So we've got back our point of Constitution. And let's go ahead and identify that cloak. And the reason I used it on Marlon was because Marlon seems to be developing a little bit better than the other two characters. When we get in later games, we may decide that we're definitely going to drop Sylvia. We may decide to drop Rolf. And we may decide to drop one other and roll a new character. We just don't know. Just leave our options open. But I think pretty sure Marlon's one we're going to want to keep. I don't want to use that book on a character that we may drop later for a different character. Alright, so we're going to exit. And I think we're going to go to Podol's Plaza next, most likely. This is one of the other areas that you may find you have a use for a knock spell. Let's make sure we have one. Pretty sure I did. Yep. So let's head on over. Head on over to the Podol's Plaza. Podol Plaza. Where they're going to auction off that item, and we need to find out what it is. Get as much information as we can on it. And I never have really figured out the best way to do that auction in this section, but I don't really think it matters a whole lot. Okay. I do know if you blow your cover while the auction is happening, then you have to fight your way out. This party, I'm not too concerned about that. So let's head on over into the plaza. Let's clear our map, unexplored map. Okay, so we always want to disguise party as monsters. Alright, so let's travel to the west. Spot a group of orcs. They just mumble and move on. The ogres did the same thing. You overhear some ogres. Do you think he'll really show up? The boss, I mean. Be nice. Save me a lot of trouble. I can go and kill him now. As you move, you overhear some orcs. More ogres on the street since the giants took over the castle. Okay, so we're at the auction. The auctioneer cries, creatures of all ages, welcome to the auction for an item both magical and powerful. The auctioneer holds either a wand or a staff. We're going to move in closer. Oh, that was a mistake. Okay. The auction is canceled, so he's left with the auction. I thought I could do that there, but apparently not. 19 orcs. Big whoop. Probably should have memorized some sleep spells, but I didn't. Okay, so let's do a stinking cloud. Oh, that lovely pathfinding. Okay. So much for that auction. Alright, so we're gonna... The monsters stand ready. Okay, so they attack. Can't remember if whole person works on ogres or not. So let's see. We need to. It's already got darts enabled. No, apparently not. I think that takes a hold monster spell. Couldn't remember. This fight should give us at least give us some decent experience. And again, just watch your hit points. Make sure they don't start dropping too low. I pretty much stay on combat until I start seeing some hit points, and then I'll maneuver my healer around. And our armor classes are all pretty decent. Before you go into Podol's Plaza, I would recommend doing something that I did not do, and that is memorize sleep spells. They're a little bit more helpful here than magic missile, so that might be a little bit better use of that spell slot. Let's see. Rolf is getting a little low on hit points, so let's try to get up there and help him out a little bit. Okay. Alright, 342 experience points. That's worthwhile. Alright, so we're going to keep going west. There is a building over here. Go south. Okay. Knock. It's the only way to get in here. A young woman comes forward to provide. We provide help for those who can reach us. Are you in need of healing? I am, but I can heal myself. And that you can rest here. So let's go ahead and memorize. Let's see, magic, cast, got no spell, so we're going to do sleep, knock, stinking cloud. Okay, so we're going to do cure light wounds, hold person, sleep, and stinking cloud. And go ahead and bump up the rest time, get everybody back to max hit points. You can see all of our armor classes are looking pretty decent. And we'll go and save. All these rooms here. When you rest there, you definitely want to go ahead and re-memorize your knock spells, just so that if you need it again, you'll have it. Group of hobgoblins. Parlay. Nope, they don't want to talk. I think I'm going to save my spells here on these guys. On these knob gobblers. That's a pretty big hit to Paris. We'll drop quite a few of these, they'll start surrendering. Except Marlin's about our best fighter that we have. It's developing into that. Don't have anybody on the level yet. Okay. Share. No magic items. Head on over to the well to rest. No, we don't want to climb back up. I don't think we have any spells to memorize. Nope. So we're going to rest up. Climb back up. No. Let's get back over to the plaza. Abandoned shops, what it said, I believe. Excuse me. Okay, small shrine temples, symbols of Bane have replaced those of Elmater. So let's go in here. Now, if our cover wasn't blown, we could get these 6 holy symbols off this guy without fighting, but because our cover's blown, we can't. Not that he's much of a challenge. So we'll pull because these holy symbols for some reason weigh a ton. And I can't imagine why. Cast a detect magic too, even though I don't. No, they don't carry any magic items. Okay, so let's make sure we got our holy symbols. We do. Share. Nope. So be sure you get those holy symbols out of that temple. We're just gonna work on mapping everything out. We'll go on down one square in the Cadorna's textile house and unexplore the map and go back up. That way that'll be done. You can read that. You can. It's nothing important. Not an important building. It's a one-way door. Don't remember that. Okay. Go here. Map out all this. Alright, there is a little encounter in this little tavern here. You've encountered a crowded tavern. You open the door into a drunk buccaneer. He glares at you. One of you shall pay for this insult. Who will it be? I'm gonna let my frail mage challenge him. Challenge. Annalyn. Cast. Sleep. Poor dude. Never learned not to mess with a mage. I should have just hit him with a single dart. Alright, so let's take. Can't remember what. I think he's got a magical sword on him. I'm not sure. I can't quite remember. The battle is over. The patrons return to drinking. The creatures ignore you for the moment. We are going to mix with the monsters. Your actions anger the patrons and cause a free for all. If I remember right, this fight does can increase or decrease based on your level and ability scores, if I remember correctly. Let's go ahead and thin these guys out a little bit. That leader guy there's got 30 hit points, but he's asleep, so it really doesn't matter at this point. Let's just put everybody to sleep. There's two still awake. One still awake. None still awake. All done. Share. Nope. Don't like anything, any kind of magic. Well, what we'll do, we'll go and take these. Just to be safe. I don't think any of them are magical, but we'll do it just to be safe. The bar looks like it was destroyed by experts. It was. Okay, camp. Memorize. Knock. Sleep, sleep, sleep. Sleep. And detect magic. Alright. So we're good. Let's go and try to explore out this area a little bit more. They're gonna let us talk this time. Howdy, we'll let you off this time. Yeah, well, you better. If you know what's good for you. Harley, howdy. We'll let you off this time. Like they're doing us a favor. Let's go into this. Alright. I was flipping through Amazon Prime today, looking at some of the old Dungeons and Dragons movies, and I know most of them suck, but one of them was halfway decent. That was the Book of All Darkness. If you get a chance to watch that, worth at least watching one time. Probably hottie. Just throwing that out there. I thought about it. Another really cheesy movie that I thought was actually really good. It's not a Dungeons and Dragons movie, but it's entertaining. It's supposed to be like a horror movie. I consider it more of a horror type comedy movie. It will make you laugh, but I'm not sure that's the intentions of it. But just because of that, it's worth it. It's, 13 Demons is the name of it. Um, it's an indie movie. It's actually, I find that movie pretty entertaining. If you want to give it a watch, it's worth it. The new Dungeons and Dragons movie is supposed to be out, I think, next year. That's supposed to be a very good movie. It looks good. It's got some good actors in it. What I like about the movie, going back to the Book of All Darkness, what I like about it was one thing that's different in that than most particularly Dungeons and Dragons movies. It's just written. The main party in the movie is an evil party. You never see that much. I mean, it's centered around a paladin. Of course, he's not evil. He's good, but he gets involved in this evil party because they can help him, and he's pretty desperate to accomplish his mission. And you'll see what it is in the movie. I don't want to give away any of the plot, but it's worth watching just because it's not your normal thing that you see all the time in most Dungeons and Dragons movies. Of course, the Book of Vile Darkness was a book written for pencil and paper D&D that just talks about um, stuff catered towards playing evil characters, and it really gets into some evil stuff there. It's, you know what I'm talking about if you're familiar with it. Alright, so we've got it completely mapped out. We're going to head back to the council. Let's go to search mode and get it back to daylight. Nobody's really close to leveling. I probably should move up one to do this. That way, there we go. Head on over to see the clerk again. See if I'm due a reward. Your success at Podol Plaza is noted. Here's your reward. I had very little success because I moved in when I should have stayed where I was. Share, exit. Okay, I must bring your attention to the following concerning Volhinian Graveyard. Undead from the graveyard have grown more dangerous than all of the other forces which confront us. I have been authorized to give you an enchanted weapon if you accept the commission to end the graveyard menace. Do you accept? Yes. 285. Okay, so we've got, I'm pretty sure those would, well, I know what they are, but it would make sense. Those are restoration scrolls since you're going after undead. And then we're going to give Paris the two-handed sword +1/+3 versus undead. Well, I thought I was. Okay, there we go. Give it to Roland instead. Okay, on the matter of commission, I can offer the following: the group of thieves, the nomads. Okay, a large tribe of kobolds is being recruited by the enemy. Make sure they don't join the enemy forces. Okay, so let's go. Can't train. Go here and pull our gold. Yes. Pull. Buy darts. Items. Join. We need some more darts. Darts. Okay. Oops, I don't want a dagger. So. Sell, yes. Let's join our darts. Join. Okay, let's see how much. Not bad. Alright, our spells. Sleeps. She's got sleeps. She's got. Make sure this one's. Ellen's got knock. She does. Okay, so let's go here. Alright, let's save our game. And that's done. And we finished. We cleared out the. We did um, Mendor's Library and Podol Plaza. So that's enough for one episode, I believe. So we're going to wrap it up here. And thank you for joining me. And when we come back, we will be heading to Cadorna's Textile House. Thank you very much. I hope you have a great day.